These are the 15 things happens only in space. If you are interested, please continue watching this video till the end with us, and we appreciate if you subscribe the channel. Number 15. You will grow a few inches. If you thought of growing just a few inches taller, then going to space may help you temporarily. The absence of gravitational forces makes the human spine stretch. A series of ultrasound tests confirm why astronauts come back a bit taller. Number 14. Your nails might fall off. 22 astronauts reported losing their fingernails after trips to International Space Station. A study said that a peculiar design of their gloves put pressure on their nails, causing them to fall off. This problem will likely be solved by a new design of gloves for spacewalks. Number 30. Your inner ear will stop working as an accelerometer. The human inner ear works as an accelerometer. When we experience a change in motion, it helps us not to get sick. The story is different when a human is in space. This little device breaks, and astronauts report experiencing motion sickness for a day or two after they arrive at the space station. Let's hope this will be solved with the invention of artificial gravity. Number 12. There will be a problem with body fluids. The lack of gravity also causes a peculiar change in the way the fluids inside the human body flow. Instead of going back to the lower limbs as on Earth, the blood, for instance, travels all the way to the head. That is why some astronauts look more round when they are back. Number 11. Your heart will shrink. The heart also experiences a lot of changes in space. For example, it pumps less blood and changes its shape to be more spherical. Studies on astronauts may help not only to avoid such cardio problems in the future in space, but also for people on Earth. Number 10. Your muscles will become weak. Astronauts must train at all times while in space. A condition called atrophy may weaken the muscles and bones after a long trip to the space. Therefore, all people who have traveled in space are encouraged to exercise daily. Number 9. You might experience psychological issues. Remember watching all the sci-fi movies about people going crazy on board spaceships? Well, it might become a reality with the missions. To avoid such situations, NASA and Russia's space agency Roscosmos have conducted many studies and will continue to do so to see what happens to people in close confinement. Number 8. What happens if your spacesuit breaks in open space? If you wonder whether it is possible to survive in open space if something goes awry with your spacesuit, here is what we know so far. You would lose consciousness in 15 seconds. Number 2. This would be followed by asphyxiation or decompression. Number 3. 10 seconds in open space makes you bubble up with blood. Number 4. Your lungs would collapse in 30 seconds. To sum up, you would be dead in less than a minute. Number 7. How does gravity work on human body? Gravity or lack of it has profound effects on the human body in space. That is why the more the scientists study how to recreate it for astronauts, the better the performance of the latter will be. Stephen Hawking, the famous physicist, experienced it in 2007. Space, here I come, he said after his zero gravity flight. Number 6. Radiation exposure will affect your health. In preparation for the mission to Mars, NASA's scientists have been studying the prolonged effects of radiation on human body. The atmosphere on Mars is much weaker than that of Earth, so it does not completely shield the planet from space radiation. Thus, more we know about how to prevent exposure to such amounts of radiation, the easier it will be for the people who will go to Mars. Number 5. Falling into black hole might stretch your body and break it into ions. Hypothetically, if a human fell into a black hole, he or she would experience extreme stretching. Their sense of time would also change. The person would be able to see both the future as well as the past at the same time. However, it is most likely that instant death would occur as their body and brain would dissolve into ions. Number 4 is so interesting. You will develop a sense of humor. An astronaut job is considered one of the most dangerous and difficult in the world. Thus, having a sense of humor is always helpful to survive both physical and emotional stress. In this photo, an astronaut holds up for sale signs for two satellites not functional properly. Number 3 is you will miss the Earth home, basically, more than ever. It may be the most fascinating experience for astronauts to be in space, but they all long for home. Number 2, you will become more superstitious. Having a little bit of luck has not harmed anyone, especially when dealing with the space and changes your body goes through there. This Apollo Mission 10 photo is proof of that. Number 1, if you float away into space, what will happen? If an astronaut floats away from the station in case of malfunctioning of his spacesuit or any other disastrous event, this would get very gloomy fast. If not rescued by the crew on station, he or she would face a fate of floating in open space for 6 hours until the oxygen runs out. This is a horrifying death scenario for any of the astronauts. If you are still here, I appreciate if you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you leave a comment what you want to see